Last minute Bone Temple Best Picture sweep. Let's make it happen, people. You know it's serious when I gotta break out the Jack O'Connell Patty Main poster, and boy was it ever. 28 years later, The Bone Temple is just so friggin' good. If you aren't super into the first one that came out back in June, but could still kind of appreciate on some level what it was going for, I urge you to check this one out. They are incredibly cohesive in a thematic sense. The narrative builds on the ideas set up back then in a very natural way, which makes a ton of sense given that Alex Garland stayed on as writer for both, but at the same time, the way they're presented feels so distinct from one another. I have so much respect for Nia DaCosta's commitment to her vision. The fact that she never felt the need to imitate Danny Boyle's style of direction makes watching it such a unique experience. Having the courage to come into a horror franchise on its fourth entry and making a film that stands apart so much as your own, while still obviously holding a deep reverence for the pre-established world, is entirely commendable, but not exactly surprising coming from her, given that this isn't even the first time she's done it. Like, I couldn't tell you who directed Saw 4. That's a lie, it was Darren Lynn Bousman. I'm too much of a Saw fan for that comparison to work, but you get what I mean. This is a Nia DaCosta film through and through. She is one of my all-time favorite directors for a very good reason. Actually, come to think of it, Hedda came out in October, the same month as that music video No Way directed for the weekend. No Other Choice hit theaters in December, Bone Temple in January, Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie Will in February, and the Dirties Collector's Edition Blu-ray ships out in March. So that's 6 releases over 6 months by 4 out of my top 5 favorite directors. Now Pasolini just needs to rise from the grave in time to put something out in April and the prophecy will be fulfilled. Sorry, not the point. Though I can't get super specific about her choices without spoiling some truly incredible moments which work much better in context than you would think by description alone, the film continues the running series motif of contrasting these beautifully serene shots of the natural world with the horrific state of the few humans still inhabiting it. Though this time the horror is found less within the actions of those infected than it is with those who aren't. The Jimmies and their ideology act as a much more obscene, corrupting force than the rage virus itself. Whereas on the other hand, Dr. Kelson is kind of the human embodiment of the land they're surrounded by. In the intervening 28 years, nature has begun to slowly reclaim Britain in a way not dissimilar to how he attempts to reclaim human nature through patience, logic, and humility. He doesn't force these attempts, and values his subjects' level of willingness to continue with these tests. I was going to talk about Bone Temple's main performances, but it took way too long, so that's going to be its own separate short. Suffice to say, goddamn. Not really a spoiler, because they confirmed it back when the previous 28 years later came out, but Cillian Murphy was indeed teased. I take it that was there. If all else fails, let's guarantee they let us make a third movie play, which I assume Danny Boyle will be back to direct for, as Nia DaCosta confirmed she wouldn't be returning to the series via Reddit AMA. Though I do think it would be interesting if Garland finally had a chance to helm one of these himself. There's so much of this movie that's just straight up stupid, but in the absolute best way. I love it when a film can make you emotionally invested in something outrageously absurd. Is it 10 out of 10 extreme? Yeah, but for my taste and sense of humor, I absolutely could not ask for more. I mean, come on guys, I can already see the potential Oscars campaign for it now.